ashore. No one else is on the beach. It is just you, your buddy, and this thing that washes up that you know you could go sell for well over $1 million. No one's watching. Not a soul on the beach. Because it's 7 o'clock at night. The beach is empty. It's just you. And the only thing standing between you and $1 million or more is picking this thing up and going to figure out how to sell it. Well, this ultimate test of willpower was just faced with a guy in Flagler County on Friday as he was standing on the beach and a duffel bag containing 15 kilos of cocaine washed ashore. And what did he do?
He was a good citizen.
Well, he called the police who came and took away the drugs. But what would you do in that situation? And I do not want to hear any BS from you. Don't do the whole, 100%. If you don't really believe that you call the cops, I want to hear what you would really do. Mick, Dolan. No one's on the beach.
Nothing like putting me on the spot.
It's just you and a duffel bag full of coke, worth $1 million at least. What are you going to do?
Well, I know that I would never get away with it. So I would probably turn it in.
So you think you would turn it in?
Too much. Somebody's looking for that, Steve.
Yeah, and that's the problem, too. You might get shot by a cartel member as well if the cops don't get you.
I mean, you never know who's really watching.
Briana, what would you do? You're on the beach, coke, big kilos of coke, wash up.
I was thinking dollars.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm thinking the same thing you just said, Mick, that someone's looking for it. I'm just, if I found, 100 kilos of coke on the beach, I would leave 99 kilos and keep going,
Yeah, well, just let it alone. Let's go.
The sheriff's office received an anonymous call around 7 p.m. regarding the duffel bag, which was covered in barnacles. I guess they think it had been out at sea for, several months, if not a year. And the Good Samaritan, I think, was given a $5,000 reward, which, at least it prevents you from having to go.
He had $5,000.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
At least it prevents you from having to go figure out how to be a drug dealer. You know what I mean? Who would you call? Do you have someone in your Rolodex that you would call?
But yeah, I was like, in my head, I was like, you're not the dealer, you're just a supplier. Like, what in the world?
So, but who would you call? Let's say you did pick it up.
I'm not naming names,
Of
but
course
there's people.
not.
But do you have someone in mind, though, that you would call who could help you distribute?
Yes.
Really?
Everyone has monsters. Absolutely.
100%.
EC.
Oh, yeah.
EC, what would you do in that situation? 7 p.m., empty beach, $1 million worth of coke at your feet.
I may call out for the week because I have things to be doing.
He has things to do.
He's not thinking about the money, he's thinking about the party.
Has an empire to build.
He's going to be awake for 3 days.
Well, speaking of party, those were happy parties. Think about that.
Could be. But apparently this happens quite a bit. It happens more often than you would think. I guess when you get these north,
You gotta spend more time on the beach.
Really?
when you get the northeasterly winds like we're having right now, the ocean it churns out there, but it's washing everything up on the beach apparently. So you got to be careful with this. Let me tell you what. What you really should do, my advice to you is run, run from it, or definitely call the sheriff's office.
Call your lawyer, Justin.
Because if you are caught, if you're caught, everyone's going to use the same excuse. They're going to say, "Officer, I was just delivering it to you. I just picked it up to deliver it to you." And they're not going to believe that. There's going to be some defenses that you have if you were to pick up the drugs and literally take them because you were quote unquote going to drop them off at the sheriff's office. They're going to likely arrest you. You're going to have some defenses like temporary possession. They're going to have to prove knowledge that you really knew that you had the drugs and all sorts of things. But, you're talking about many, many years in jail and prison if you were to get busted doing this sort of thing.
I would think a good lawyer.
The Kenny is actually answering your calls at 321-339-1055. He said, "I'm finding someone to sell the coke for me." But he said, first things first, going to hit the strip club.
Second thing second. He went to Full Sail. He already knows someone that can sell that coke.
Well, how many was How many
So this one was 15 kilos.
So 15 kilos, he has just enough to sell off his debt that he has at full sale.
There you go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
He can
Strip
sell
club
off.
for you, Kenny.
He can pay off his full sale debt and hit the strip club twice. I think.
Twice.
Yeah.
Not a good strip
But
club.
knowing Kenny, he would probably not bother paying off the law school debt or the what kind of school is full sale debt, and just hit the strip club
He's
way
going to
more often.
Cleo's twice.
But I think we all can sort of envision ourselves in this situation. I remember when I was still living downtown. I was living in a high-rise in Thornton Park before I had kids and was forced to move to the suburbs. And these jerks, my neighbors, what they would do, it was funny as hell, don't get me wrong. So we would have people walking by, it's right downtown.
Yeah.
They would take a $100 bill and put it on a fishing line. Have you ever seen this trick?
No.
They would take the $100 bill and cast the $100 bill out on the sidewalk, and they would kind of hide. And then when the person would come by, they would always look around like this, and then quickly go scoop up the $100 bill, and then they would start reeling it in. Because, you don't know what to do. I mean, do you pick up the $100 bill in that situation?
Did you get the $100 bill back?
No, they would not give it to the person. No, they would start reeling it in.
Right.
So,
they didn't lose it.
Another thing that I see happen a lot is when, these new self-checkout counters, whether you're at Winn-Dixie or Home Depot, wherever you are, this is also another tempting time to
ring up a TV as an orange.
Oops, yeah. TV? No, it's not a TV, it's
That's
an
a
orange.
tomato.
Yeah. And I see people, I know for a first hand that there are people that I know
Switching.
virtually every time they go, they'll be like, oops, that one, we didn't scan that one on accident. And then when the Walmart cashier comes over, they got like one lady or one dude right there who's kind of watching all 4 or 5 checkout counters. They'll just play dumb, like, oh, I had no idea. I was not my fault.
So they'll know if you went through the counter or the
I don't think they do.
Honestly, no. Because they got the older person at the door maybe checking receipts. Yeah. But I mean, if you went through the checkout and they think like, oh, you took the time to bag it all up, that maybe you're gonna be honest about it. But geez.
That actually happened to me yesterday. I was on my way to this horse deal for my daughter. And my other daughter, I forgot her stroller. It was the only thing they asked me to bring. I forgot, you know what I mean? So I had to stop at a Walmart and buy a stroller. And as I was exiting the Walmart, they were like, can I see your receipt? I was like, no, I paid cash. I didn't even bother to keep the receipt. So I had to go back to the register I was at and try to reprint the receipt before they let me out of the store.
Because you didn't bag the stroller, of course.
Yeah, save his receipt.
Yeah.
No, I didn't save my receipt.
Stroller probably cost what? $100.
It was actually way cheaper than that. Pilar's mother and I had an argument about it because she wanted the $100 one and I went with the $20 one. I was like, this is only like this. Yeah.
This is the backup stroller. It's not the real stroller. It's the backup stroller.
Yeah, it's the backup stroller. And look, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't very nice. In fact, my 1-year-old wouldn't sit in it the whole day.
So you wasted a trip and your money.
Yeah, essentially.
Poor little girl.
321-339-1055. What would you do if you find kilos of cocaine washed up on the beach? My advice is you call the cops. Don't try to go sell it. You
have Justin's number on speed.
No, please don't. Yeah, I don't want you to spend 20 years.
What do I do? I found all this. Well,
I'm sorry, can I see your phone? I'm trying to get your attention. There's no obvious way to do this.
Speaking of jail, by the way, Central Florida man will be heading there soon after he was arrested yesterday for punching a Little League umpire in the face. If you have kids that play baseball or play football, and I'm talking about the Pee Wee League football or the Little League. I mean, these are like 7, 8, 9-year-old kids. You parents have got to take a chill pill. I understand
just a game
that you care about little Johnny, and you care about whether they're winning or losing the Winter Springs Championship or whatever it is, but you gotta chill the hell out. This is happening all the time. I was just talking to a friend of mine yesterday whose son is 7. He plays in Winter Springs Little League. Brawl. Winter Springs. We're talking about Seminole County, rich area. Brawl breaks out because they're mad at the umpire, who's probably like 15 years old himself, And these parents, I mean, what kind of example are we really setting for these kids? Oh, my God. So here's what happened. We're at Highland City Ballpark over in Lakeland. The man, Alberto Ramos, 22, disagreed with the call the umpire made. So after the game, he went to the clubhouse to complain. He began screaming at the umpire, and the umpire, rightly so, asked him to leave the ballpark. Nope. Ramos said he was about to kick his bleep and then punch the victim in the face, cutting the lip, breaking one of his teeth, and sending him to the hospital.
There's lawsuit.
I mean, it's inexcusable, right? I mean, for that age, for a parent to be such a dick that you're going to go chase the little poor umpire down and punch him in the face?
I know.
Do we really care that much about our
My sons were
100%, yeah. I mean, I coached Pop Warner football for a while, and you see it all. You see the refs get yelled at by it. You'll see the fans. I've seen fans come over a fence at a coach before. And just insane.
And we're talking about little kids.
Yeah. Oh, you little kids.
And then what are these little kids going to grow up to be like? If they see dad, being the biggest jerk in town.
Not a very good, role model there.
EC, you played football growing up. Where were you when you were playing youth football?
In Georgia and then out in the Broward County.
And were your parents nutty or were they kind of normal?
No, my dad was a coach for a long time too.
Did you see nutty parents?
Oh yeah, tons.
Like, give me an example of a nutty parent story. Anything come to mind?
I had this was actually back when I was playing up in Georgia. And Georgia's kind of like we played in a stadium like high school stadium like Texas. It was a full concrete stadium.
They go all out.
Yeah, it was nice. And this parent got in an argument with one of the refs and hopped over the fence barrier and came at him to confront him on the field about a call. Came onto the field during a game after a ref. Like, when is that ever a time you think you could possibly do that?
I guess coaches need to wear shoulder pads.
They got to be ready.
Yeah, it better be.
I mean, don't you think parents, shouldn't you be focused on like going to make money and providing for your family and things, not beating the hell out of the umpire for your 7-year-old Little League game?
Yeah, must have been a bad day.
I mean, it's not like these stats are showing up in the on ESPN.com or anything, right? Is it really that big of a deal?
I guess so.
Yeah. I feel like some parents have like such ambition for their children, They
You get caught up in the moment.
You do.
Meanwhile, little Johnny's playing right field in the 8th inning only, sitting on the bench the rest of the time, and you're out there punching the umpire.
You want justice.
And it's funny because it's a lot of times that is the kid's parent.
It's
too.
the kid
who's not really that good, and
Yeah.
So those are the ones, that butterfly chaser.
Well, that happens too. The parents get mad at the coaches, not just the umpires. Like, I can't believe you got Johnny in right field. Because right field's where you put the crappy players, at least at that age. So parents get mad. Or like in basketball, you don't play. Only play a couple minutes a game at the end, and the parent thinks you're crazy. Like, meanwhile, sorry, Johnny stinks. I mean, that's all there's to it. Johnny's
he went out there. He
Wow.
immediately got fouled. Like, this is why he doesn't play.
Yeah.
Justin,
Did you see the air ball? I mean,
I don't know if Justin would make a very good coach. He's kind of honest. You can't be honest.
No, man. I mean, I think at that age, everyone should play some. I don't think that you necessarily have to keep them on the bench the entire game. But certainly,
like Conway basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball.
What do you think about that? At age 7, 9, 10-ish, I mean, do you think everyone should at least play, whether it's football, basketball, baseball?
Yeah, 100%. I think all those kids should get in there at some point.
Yeah.
And a lot of these, unfortunately, the coaches are pretty bad at it too, because we're the best team in the state of 7 to 8-year-old kids playing football. Yeah. They should be everybody playing at all times. It's youth football. That's what they're there to do. They're there to learn and have fun and learn teamwork and stuff like that. We're the best team in there.
One of the players that's not that good would maybe blossom.
I've seen it a lot.
Yeah,
I've seen some of the kids that were just not there the year before, and the next year they come out and they're one of the best kids on the field.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. 321-339-1055. So if this umpire needs to go get plastic surgery or some kind of reconstructive facial surgery, well, he lives in the right state. This is surprising to me. Do you want to guess what state is the most obsessed with plastic surgery?
Florida.
I gave it away. Florida, but you would think California here. I mean, I think all of us would immediately say California would be the most plastic surgery obsessed state, but they would be wrong. Florida is the most obsessed with cosmetic surgery. We rank first in searches for liposuction, second for eyelid surgery, fourth for tummy tucks, and fifth for breast augmentation. Only ninth for nose jobs, though. Apparently in Florida, we're not as obsessed with nose jobs, but we definitely like our liposuction. Plastic surgeons have developed lucrative businesses in Florida that cater to the aging, wrinkled, flabby, and the obsessive. The wealthy people are the ones getting the most plastic surgery. But apparently it's a little more dangerous than you would think.
Yeah.
I mean, plastic surgery, you seem like, oh, whatever, it's just a little plastic surgery. Anytime someone, a man or woman, a doctor, takes out a knife and starts cutting on your body, I mean, there are going to be some risk associated with that. You know what I mean?
You hope you had a long, good rest.
A USA Today study showed earlier this year 13 women have died and another 13 hospitalized with critical injuries at clinics for plastic surgery in Broward and Miami-Dade counties. So we're talking about a lot. I mean, this is 13 dead just in Miami-Dade and Broward alone, and another 12 critically injured from these plastic surgeries.
Jeez, how do you die?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's
well, you have to think about it. The people that are getting, for example, liposuction, they're already overweight, so the risk of them hemorrhaging on the table is, I mean, their health risks are just out there.
I feel like I'd like to do a little tummy tuck. I don't want knives though. Can't they just suck some of the fat out of you? Don't they have a?
So you don't want knives? They're gonna shove a tube in you? Like, what do you?
I don't think they should.
Think that's gonna happen?
You know what I'm talking about? You see, they
liposuction.
They suck it out, right?
It's still not good for you though.
It's not.
No.
Does it hurt?
I don't know, but I tell you it's not good for you because
As long as it doesn't hurt.
any fat that's on your body is still usually attached to the muscles and stuff like that. That's why it's so hard to get rid of.
It's gonna be sore.
So you're literally ripping it off of your body. Just imagine a big piece of steak and stuff like that where it has all the fat still attached to it. How hard it is to get off. It's the same way.
I'd like to try it out once just to see what happens. Maybe. I drove by a plastic surgery place yesterday, actually, on my way to dinner, and it said Botox $8.99, like $8.99. I was like, I'm not sure if that's good.
Yeah, that's like good old-fashioned botulism right there.
That's
like
like
the can of old mushroom soup that they got when they pull that Botox out.
That's like going to the Dollar Tree for surgery.
For aspirin.
We're going to talk about Dollar Tree here in a minute too. Yeah.
Did they not pass inspection?
Let's just say Dollar Tree has a couple issues going on.
I was looking at that I was on Groupon the other day, and I saw that they had they had cosmetic surgery procedures for on sale.
Oh.
And I was like, oh.
What's the deal?
Yeah.
Right.
No thanks.
What?
Thank you.
Florida was followed by Nevada and California as the states with the highest interest level in cosmetic surgeries.
Nevada?
The last place, not surprising probably, were Vermont, Maine, and then Iowa. Because you know what? You're wearing a jacket 9 months out of the year. I mean, everyone's skinny in a jacket, right?
That's right.
So, you feel fat? Just wear a big coat. 321-339-1055. Airbnb maybe is renting out places in the projects. But they're not telling us about it. 321-339-1055. It's Justin Clark on the Florida Man Radio Network.
Listening to You Have Power Radio.
Looks so crazy, doesn't it?
I'm going to leave the watch party for now.
Yeah, because the watch party's gonna stop. I'm gonna start a new one now. 'Cause that's the old stream, so it's gonna stop anyways once the stream dies. However many seconds behind us.
Ugh.
You say, yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, it is a little bit, huh?
I think people are tuning in to see why we're so incompetent.
Like, what is happening? What is this? We had like 10 people watching at one point though, so I was like, I don't know.
Right, wow, these are really amateur hour people here.
Like, sorry guys, our computer acting crazy. Okay, let's do that. And fade. Jeez, sucks. Alright, now we got Twitter.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I'm often asked, what is the value of my case? The answer, of course, depends on your injuries, liability, and the damages to you financially. And it also very much depends on the law firm you hire to represent you. Many times, firms are hired without much thought or research. All firms are not the
So
same.
funny.
What's that?
I know of firms and lawyers that have been trying to case
Looks
you.
like shit.
The insurance company knows who they are too.
Alright.
Some lawyers need the money more than you do. Go to forthepeople.com and look at our verdicts in court. Here you will see injuries just like yours. You will see what the insurance company offered and, more importantly, what a jury decided. You will have an idea what your case may be worth in our hands. And just because you've already hired a lawyer doesn't mean you can't fire them before it's too late. Happens all the time. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been here at your time of need. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. On your cell, dial pound law, that's all. Offices.
Hello, that's all.
Can you believe the year's almost over? Hey, this is RC Hill from RC Hill Mitsubishi. Most businesses count on strong fourth quarter sales. We sure do, and I got a big problem, and I need to catch up. Right now, I'm paying over appraised value for any car. Even if it's really old, I want it. If you owe $2,000, $4,000, even $6,000 more than it's worth, I still want it. Save more.
Colin Kaepernick.
Nick's top 5 at 5. All right.
What do you think?
That was fucking annoying.
Joke between both groups.
Yeah, I think the NFL sucks. I think he sucks. I don't know who I was really hating on him earlier today, but I don't know.
Well, there's a place for his social stuff. Don't put it in the front of people. And I'm gonna tell you, man, if I was a football team, I don't know if I would want that down.
I agree.
It's hard when I have to agree with Stephen A. Smith. Where Stephen
Yeah.
A. Smith's like, he's just wanting to be a martyr. And that's what I've always said. He knows he's not good enough to play in the NFL anymore. He's good enough to be a backup quarterback somewhere.
Oh, you know what? I think he could help. I think he could help the team.
Maybe
If he gets a shit. Maybe if he plays football.
He's 32 years old, though, and he's already at the end of a quarterback's career for the most part. Most average quarterbacks 33 to 34 is their end. So, I mean, yeah, he hasn't played 3 years, so maybe he has 3 more years of lifespan in him, but still, there's got to be a diminishing return on him by this point. So,
And what kind of contract is he going to want? Probably going to want to.
well, that's the problem, is there's been teams that have offered to sign him, and he doesn't want backup money because he doesn't believe he's backup.
Well, he wants to start.
7 and 10 to 2 a.m.
And then there's the Prince Andrew interview.
What?
Oh, God. Prince
Oh,
Andrew.
well, I heard he's been opening up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but not good opening up.
He doesn't remember the 3 times that he was with this girl and photographed.
Yeah, well, 3 times he was photographed with her, not the fact that how many times he actually might have been.
I mean, he probably banged her 150 times.
I'll tell you, man, there's just so much to think out there.
Listen to the Shannon Burke Show this afternoon from 2 to 6. Blah, blah, Warpass Wilson will
I mean, he can't like just get 18-year-olds as opposed to 16-year-olds. You know what I mean?
I guess it's the thrill of the conflict.
Why is he spot playing? Why is he even in the lineup?
What's that?
The other one that already happened. Why would that spot even be in here?
Well, but he's going to do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, back to You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark.
You know, sometimes it's the corporation's fault, and then other times I think it's our fault, actually. This Dollar Tree thing. So Dollar Tree just got issued a warning by the FDA about selling potentially unsafe drugs to us. I mean, the question is, who in the hell is buying their drugs at the Dollar Tree? Because I know this to be a fact. The Dollar Tree is legit. Everything is a buck. You know, you go to Dollar General, it could be any price.
Right.
That's just the name. Dollar Tree, everything's a buck. I've been there one time. And I really appreciate the fact that everything's $1. It makes it very simple. Hey, okay, how much is that? It's $1. What about the toothpaste? It's $1.
I got
Went there
10
one
items.
time.
And in fact,
It was a field trip.
I mean, you want to go to the Dollar Tree to hook up some paper towels, maybe some toothbrushes even. Toothpaste? I can get it. I get it.
But prescriptions?
But when you think about,
Yeah.
let's see. I'm going to hit Publix, buy the food for the week. Then we're going to hit the Dollar Tree to buy our drugs for the week. It's just not the normal way we do things in this country, is it?
Well, but if they can do it, they're gonna do it, right?
What kind of drugs could we possibly be selling for $1? I mean, I've been to CVS 1,000. I was at CVS yesterday. Had to buy some sore throat medication. I mean, this stuff's like $12, $13, $15. Medicine is not cheap.
Well, have you bought any medicine at
Dollar Tree?
Dollar Tree?
No, you know why? Because I'm normal.
Well, yeah.
I'm a normal dude.
But I mean, could you look into it, right?
Let's just be honest. Please, someone help me here. What kind of drugs do they really sell for $1 at the Dollar Tree? Do you know, EC?
I know they sell aspirin there because I've seen that before. I'm sure there's
A bottle
probably
of aspirin for like
For
yeah.
$1.
I'm sure there's probably like a cough syrup or something like that.
For $1.
Yeah.
Vicks vapor.
Pregnancy tests. I've seen those before for $1.
$1 for
Oh,
you
now
can
that would be reliable.
you can find out if you're pregnant for
Yeah,
$1.
$1.
That's all you need.
Oh wow!
My goodness. Do you even want to know at that point?
I would. No,
I know, but
would.
I've also been at the counter with the girl with the 5 of them in her hand. So
I would.
I'm assuming she was like, if I 1 out of 5, like she's got to average it out. Like 3 out of 5
Oh,
probably means
yes,
pregnant.
geez.
Well,
So-
yeah, I mean, you haven't lost anything.
I would love.
Yeah.
I would love to see the accuracy rates on the dollar birth control.
Oh, my
birth
goodness.
control. What is it? Stick? What do you
The
call it?
pregnancy stick.
The
Yeah.
pregnancy stick. Oh, well, I mean, accuracy rates of what? 20%. So, but basically, you don't know if you're pregnant or not after you can do 5. Maybe that's why she had to buy 5.
That's what I'm saying. She was
She had
getting
to
an
add up
average.
to
Yeah.
100. She had to get to the
She's
100.
like, if we go 3 out of 2.
Yeah, if I get 3 out of 5,
Yeah.
I'm on the plus side of 50%.
It's like rock, paper,
Yeah.
scissors with pregnancy. She's just...
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has issued a warning letter to Dollar Tree for receiving over-the-counter drugs produced by foreign manufacturers that have been found to be adulterated, including acne treatment pads, which I don't really think of that as a drug necessarily, but I guess it has, chemical
There's
agents
chemicals
in
in
it.
it.
Yeah, most of those are a type of acid. So just remember that when you're buying that and putting that on your face.
And Assured, and the name of the drugs, it's a line of drugs called Assured brand the drugs. So it's not...
That's the Dollar Tree.
Yeah, the Assured brand. The letter outlines multiple violations of manufacturing practices, and I quote, Americans expect and deserve drugs that are safe, effective, and that meet our standards for quality. The importation and distribution of drugs and products from manufacturers that violate these laws is unacceptable.
It's just always, I don't understand people that you're buying $1, the quality isn't there.
Right.
If you go to a liquor store and you buy you the cheapest bottle of vodka you can find,
Yeah.
it's not going to be good vodka. So if you're going and buying the cheapest drugs you can find, they're not going to probably do anything for you, if not be dangerous to you.
I'm still shocked that Dollar Tree sells drugs. I had no idea.
I can't believe that.
Have you ever been to a Dollar Tree?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I never bought drugs.
You stop at the medicine section.
No.
Have you been to Dollar Tree?
Yeah, I was actually at the Dollar Tree in Las Vegas, and they had security at the door because apparently they have a shoplifting problem.
Well, I bet they get a lot of cash.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're right.
Probably a
That
lot of
stays in
cash.
Vegas.
Yeah.
It happens.
I don't know what happened, but look, yeah, they had some guy at the door that was.
It's a lot of drunk people just wandering in and grabbing stuff off the counter.
321-339-1055. But I do appreciate and admire the fact that you know everything's $1. I mean, it's if it says it's a Dollar Tree, it means everything is $1. Am I right?
No, that's true.
There cannot
100%
be drugs that cost $1.
Oh, they're there.
Yeah,
Again, that's
Yeah.
you're paying for what you're getting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Apparently, the drugs might not be as safe as it turns out. Speaking of safe, did you hear about this story? Boston resident Rachel Valerio was booking an Airbnb in New York City the other day, and she was shocked to learn that she was only having to pay $90 a night for the Airbnb. I mean, that's a great deal.
Yeah, she might as well. That right there should have been a flag, because I don't think you go on there right now. There's anything that's $90 for an Airbnb in downtown New York.
Yeah, and it was apparently even highly rated on the Airbnb site. The problem is, this was an apartment that she booked and the New York City Housing Authority complex. So
That's not right.
not in the best area.
Strange.
She said that it smelled like gas, and there was a roach trap next to the bed. She still didn't really know what it was until she saw the letters in the lobby that said NYCHA, which she Googled, and she was shocked to find out it was the malign Public Housing Agency. Now, subletting a government-subsidized apartment is actually illegal.
It is.
But as you can imagine, it
Who's gonna
happens.
check?
It definitely happens. You'll be happy.
Was it in Bedford-Stuy?
No, it was.
One of those.
Actually, it wasn't in a terrible area. It was just not the kind of place you'd want to stay for sure. But $90 for NYC, something's right. That's really cheap.
Those
It
don't fly.
is. We're going to New York next week, actually.
Well, are you ever in town? It was Vegas. Let me go through where you've been here. New York next week. Vegas last week. I mean, where else have you
I
been
was in
lately?
Tampa.
Tampa,
The
Jacksonville.
Dallas.
I mean,
think
Dallas.
I was in Dallas.
I mean, this is all. We've been on the air for what, 3 months?
Yeah.
Let's go through this, Briana, real quickly.
No. It's
I'm
not.
there 3 months.
It's not.
You did bring it up.
New York City next week, Vegas,
Yeah.
Georgia,
Yeah.
Dallas,
Dallas.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? What is this travel? What are you doing? There's a lot of travel.
Maybe you're paying me too much. I don't know. maybe that's what we need to look at is how much.
So
I'm
why are you
not
going to
travel.
New York? What's
I'm
the
spending
deal in New York?
Thanksgiving in New York.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I mean,
spending
that's-
the holidays.
That's right. She's going
Thanksgiving
to
is coming up.
the Hard Rock in
We're
New
going
York.
to
right?
the
Yeah.
Hard Rock.
Oh, we went through that on
We
Friday.
did go through that. Yeah, but we're staying at an Airbnb in the upper west side, and we're actually east side, sorry. And it's only, I think it's $100 a night.
What?
Yeah, we talked her down because she had
Yeah. Just share our
it's-
bathroom with the neighbors.
No, it's a 1 bedroom. We checked it all out, and I actually got her to waive the fees because she's gonna be out of town too for the holiday. So I was like, look, I don't see why I gotta pay $250 a night. What is this $100 cleaning fee a night? Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna clean after my, like no. Like let's come to some sort of agreement. She knocked all those fees off, so we're gonna pay $100 a night.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be there while you're there.
No.
They're not.
No, there's an option to rent the whole place, and that's the option that we chose. 'Cause I don't really like staying with other people.
So the New York City Housing Authority, obviously we don't have that here because, well, we're in Florida. But we do have a homeless problem here, maybe because we don't have a good housing authority like that. And did you know a lot of the homeless people in Orlando are spending more and more time at the international airport? Big problem at Orlando International Airport. They're struggling to deal with rising numbers of homeless people arriving at the airport seeking the air conditioning, restrooms, other amenities that are offered to passengers and patrons, but they're just shacking up there.
What do they do? Hitchhike?
We don't.
They don't have a car.
No, there's a way they
No,
get
there's
there.
a bus. There's a
Yeah,
bus line.
you can take I think you can take the Lynx bus all the way down.
Yeah, so they're saying that they're getting there by bus. The Greater Orlando Aviation Authority has been buying blocks of tickets to provide homeless free rides from the terminal, but I think they're getting on buses to the terminal as well. So I didn't know this was a big problem. But here, Mick, you and I had this fight before, and let's just get this out of the way right away. What do you call the airport here? Is it MCO or OIA? What do you call the airport, the international airport here in Orlando? 321-339-1055. Because my feeling is it is called MCO. Like if you were to go to book a flight from here to New York or wherever Brianna's going next trip, and you go to Expedia, try to type in OIA in Expedia and see what comes up. It's not going to be the airport here. No, it's not.
I've done it.
Okay, Brianna, please. Can you please pull up Expedia
Here we go,
and
Jesus.
type in OIA? Because if you type in MCO, boom, Orlando International Airport will be your search.
Okay.
If you type in OIA,
Do
I
it
can,
for you.
I guarantee, I can't guarantee, but I'm pretty confident it's not going to come up as, no, ORL, yeah, that's Orlando. Do OIA.
It's OIA.
You typed in OIA?
Yep, it's
What
right
shows
there.
up?
Greece. Mini Greece.
I told you, Mick.
Shows
So,
up.
yeah, Mick,
So, okay.
Mick just bought a ticket.
I
From
don't
Greece.
know anybody in this town that says, I'm going to fly out of MCO.
See, that's the thing. Talking to people, I call it OIA, but I know when I need to book a flight,
Yeah.
I'm flying out of MCO. I know I don't fly from Orlando to Dallas. I fly from MCO to DAL or to DFW. Like
So
that's
what does MCO stand for? You know?
No, we have no idea.
You
yeah.
don't know?
We
I forgot.
talked about it. It was the old
Okay,
airport.
What is
Yeah.
it? Oh.
McCoy.
Because they named after the
Air
old
Force Base.
Air Force Base.
All right, EC, you don't fly. I know, right? Didn't you tell me that?
Don't fly.
EC
Why
doesn't
not?
fly, but what do you call the airport here?
What is this?
It's MCO because it's MCO.
So you call it MCO.
Yeah.
Brianna?
You guys are.
Brianna?
I just explained to you.
Okay.
Verbally
Pile on.
speaking, I call it OIA.
Uh-huh.
But when I'm looking for a flight to book, I call it MCO.
So let's do this. Let's say, okay, you're flying to New York,
Mhm.
right? Okay, which airport are you flying out of?
I'm flying out of MCO.
But that's what you would say in conversation, or you say
No,
I'm flying
no.
out of OIA?
No, I say I'm flying out of OIA in conversation. But I know if I'm online, like OIA doesn't exist. I type in MCO.
So it's two
I'm flying
versus
from
two.
MCO to JFK.
It's 2 versus 2. So I guess you can call it either OIA or MCO, but regardless, OIA or MCO has a homeless problem. Did you know there are 50 million passengers that go through
Yeah.
Orlando International?
It's a big airport.
I mean, where do we rank? We must be in the top 10 at least by now, right?
It's up there.
10 or 11.
Yeah, I mean, we must be right up there.
And it's getting bigger, so.
It is.
It
It
is.
passed my
Terminal C is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh
So-
my
I should have seen it
goodness.
40 years ago when I got it.
Yeah, like that. 50 million,
Quonset hut.
50 million passengers traveling through, but many are trying to make the airport their permanent home instead of seeking shelters. They just try to go there and blend in with the travelers.
Just kind of keep moving.
And, it is, if you think about it, there are quite a few amenities there, You've got nice bathrooms, you've got food, probably bum cigarettes outside on the terminal or whatever. So I just didn't realize that there was such a big problem
You can
there.
walk around with your luggage and your
Yeah.
baggage
So
and
the
it won't
next
look as
time I
obvious.
fly, I'm going to be looking for.
Currently, MCO sits 10
Okay.
in the busiest U.S. airports by total passenger boarding.
That is awesome.
The last year alone, 297 trespass warnings were issued. This year, we are on track for 372. And that's just like a drop in the bucket is what they're telling us. They normally just kind of push people out. They don't actually get the police involved. So, I don't know. I mean,
Stirred the pot.
you certainly feel bad for homeless people who are out on the streets, So what do you do? I don't know. I don't know.
Desperate measure.
I mean, do we care if they kind of hang out in the airport?
Well, yeah.
Does-
I mean, that's.
I mean, it's not a good look. It's just like I don't ever go downtown anymore because of that reason. It's such a large amount of homeless that are aggressive homeless panhandlers and stuff like that. It keeps me out of downtown for the most part. So I imagine what the airport must be like.
Yeah.
Well, they're just setting up porta potties downtown.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I didn't know about this.
They're doing the mobile toilets and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
So that people don't pee on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Really?
As they get off the bar.
It needs
And a lot of people.
I mean, those areas, especially that walk in between the Exploria Stadium, and now is what's called the soccer stadium, to downtown, where all those construction areas still being done, it reeks, just
Ugh.
smells, because that's exactly where people are stopping in between there.
321-339-1055. So I didn't know this, but apparently these lithium-ion batteries are wreaking havoc with fire departments across the country. I mean, they're just setting houses on fire. Did you know this? Have you heard about this? These batteries, and what we've also noticed too is the Tesla cars. They run on like 7,000 of these batteries. They're just going up in smoke and killing people. I had absolutely no earthly idea that this was a problem. The Tesla S is run by more than 7,000 lithium-ion cells, slightly larger than a standard AA battery, and they're just making the cars go right up in smoke. Ridiculous. Crazy. And
100%.
and they're fire departments across the country
Well,
are...
can you put those fires out? Because it's a lithium. I'm not a chemist.
I think it's just a regular fire.
Yeah.
It's just...
It's just that
they're-
they're burning.
Yeah, it's not like someone was smoking a cigarette and caught the house on fire. It just sort of happens. It just catches on fire. Palm Beach County, the fire chief down there, says the lithium battery fires have emerged as an increasingly serious concern. It's because we have more devices in our house. You
Batteries are getting stronger. And
you
more
got
powerful.
you got the computer, you got the cell phones, the laptop, or the what do you call them? Come on.
Tablets.
The tablets, all over the place, all over your house. But it's really happening a lot with these electric bicycles and scooters and hoverboards.
Yeah,
Those are the ones that are really creating fires left and right.
There was a certain the cell phone, what is it, the Note whatever, this Note 6 or Note 7
Oh,
that was
yeah.
blowing up, and they were saying if you have one, you got to check it, you got to turn it
Yeah.
off and check it in your luggage. You can't bring it on the plane.
You couldn't even go on a plane with
Yeah.
that thing for a while. Can you now? I think they
You
fixed it,
can.
right?
I think they they're 2 or 3 generations up now, but yeah.
So we have this remote in my house that it's regular DirecTV remote. It's not lithium ion. It's just like regular batteries. And sometimes I'll grab it and the batteries are hot as hell.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that happen?
Yeah,
like
I'm charging
hot,
my
hot.
phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
The
mean-
charger gets hot.
I mean, is this safe?
I don't know.
Because these batteries and this remote are so hot. And I'm like, and then they like disintegrate too. I have to replace the batteries. How does that happen?
Whoa.
Why does that happen?
It's a chemical reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've never heard of a remote doing that.
Yeah.
I know I've had them before where the batteries have melted, kind of the inside.
Yeah.
It's
And they
bad.
get warm.
Yeah, they overheated, and then the casing will break off, and that internal acid in the batteries and stuff like that will mess it up.
But can that create a fire?
I'm sure.
I'm sure if it gets hot enough. It's always the fight to create the strongest product, like, oh, the phones were blowing up because they wanted a really strong battery because they wanted the phone that you didn't have to charge,
Right.
Every 2 seconds. So it's always that fight, you don't want to use gas in your car, let's go electric. And now it's
And
blowing
now
up.
Now they blow up.
Now they explode with the new fire feature.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Speaking of exploding, student loan debt is exploding.
Ugh.
We've got $1.5 trillion in student loan debt right now.
That's ridiculous.
42 million Americans are paying back this $1.5 trillion of student loan debt. Now, we talk about timeshares here a lot, about how, you get ripped off buying a timeshare,
Yeah.
then you get ripped off with the company trying to help you get rid of the timeshare, then you get ripped off trying to resell it. Same with student loans now. There are so many companies popping up that are saying, if you have student loan debt, we can help. And people are paying $2,500, $3,500 up front. And these aren't lawyers either. I mean, these are just like crap companies who are saying, who see the writing on the wall. Let me be very clear about this. The student loan crisis that we have now is very analogous to the foreclosure crisis that we had back in 2007, 8, 9, 10. We're talking about similar types of numbers of people going through this nonsense that they're having to deal with. It is very similar to the foreclosure crisis. And same thing happened during the foreclosure crisis. These terrible companies popped up saying, we're going to save your home, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, they just took your money. Well, now be very, very careful when you see these advertisements, other than my advertisements, of course, talking about helping you with your student loan debt. Because the Federal Trade Commission has now sued many of these companies who are saying they can help you. They're charging you fees up front. They're saying they can help. And really all that they're doing is calling the student loan company and putting you on a temporary forbearance. And little did you know, 6 months later, 3 months later, whatever, you just got to start paying again. And the interest has been accruing the whole time. So they did absolutely nothing whatsoever to help you
They just gave you a break on the payment for a while.
at all. And that's even if they do that. I mean, a lot of them don't even do that
They
much
catch
for
you
you.
up with.
And, these student loans are a mess. And, again, if you don't pay your American Express bill, even if you don't pay your home mortgage, it takes a while for anything bad to happen. They got to sue you. They got to have the sheriff's office come knock on your door, serve you papers. You get 20 days to respond. With student loan debt, they don't have to do any of that. All they have to do is send a letter to you and your boss, and the next thing that you know, your paycheck is much lighter next week because they are garnishing your wages. Oh, well, that really stinks, but at least I'm going to have my tax return this year. Nope, they're going to take that as well. They barely have to give you any notice whatsoever. They certainly don't have to sue you, and the next thing you know, they're taking your tax refund, and they are garnishing your wages, taking money directly out of your paycheck. So student loan debt is something that you really, really have to get out ahead of. Bankruptcy often can help. We have this new program here in Orlando, only in Orlando. This is not anywhere else in the country, where we can do a modification, a mediation modification program directly with your student loans by filing bankruptcy. It's hard to get them wiped out. I think we all know that it's hard to get student loan debt wiped out in bankruptcy, but there are many things that you can do by filing bankruptcy to really help.
How do they get away with that?
What, the student loan companies?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's the government, man.
So there's a law that they
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
Takes care of, you know.
They don't have to do anything. They don't have to sue
Can we change
you.
that law?
I mean, something's got to change. There are too many people out there, and I've told you this before. For the most part, it is not, little Sarah who went to FSU who has big student loan issues. She might have student loan debt, but she doesn't have student loan issues. It is the guy who was out of work in 2008 who went to monster.com to try to find a job because there were no jobs in Florida. And instead of finding a job, he found an advertisement for a terrible school, probably Everest. There's a thousand of them. A terrible school promising you $100,000. Hey, look, you can't find a job anyway. You might as well come to our school, better your life. We're going to get you a student loan that is not only going to pay the tuition, there's going to be money left over you can put in your pocket and help get your family through these tough times. Next thing you know, I went to crap school number 2, getting out making $8 an hour, if I could even find a job at all, with a degree that's absolutely worthless because they shut the school down. No one would take the credit hours, yet you got $100,000 in credit card debt from terrible school.
Yep.
I don't even want to call it a university.
And that's not the company that's not the school itself. It's another company that's doing the loans, right?
Yeah, of course. So
the school's gone.
the
Doesn't matter.
school's gone. They're on a boat somewhere. You know what I mean? The owner of that school doesn't care. It doesn't care about you, of course. But now the student loan company's saying, well, look, it's not my fault you went to this stupid college. We loaned you the money. You need to pay it back to us. It's not our fault. Sorry. There's nothing we can do. And the government's come up with a few programs to try to help people get rid of some of these debt. But if you look at the numbers, it's outrageous. I think this one program for discharge, they have had 400,000 applications, and they've approved like 10 of them. I mean, it's humorous.
Ridiculous.
And, we are fighting for change and help in this because I know if you have student loan debt, it's a problem. It's a big problem for a lot of Americans. And one of these days we're going to figure out a way to
Change the
help,
law.
to really,
Give them that break.
really change. And I'm not trying to...
Shut them all down. I think.
And I'm not sitting here trying to go Bernie Sanders on you either. Don't take me the wrong way here. I'm not saying, oh, look, free college for everybody. I'm not an idiot, But there are certain things that we have to do. And, we don't want to help out the 25 to 30-year-olds who are just out of school, who literally can't buy a house. They can't pay rent because they're paying $900 a month after taxes to their student loans.
It still always, to me, goes back to the fact that the schools are too expensive in the first place.
Yeah, EC has a good theory.
There's never a reason that a state school should cost you $50,000 a year.
I agree.
That's true.
321-339-1055. We'll be right back to wrap up a Monday night edition of You Have Power Radio. It's Justin Clark on the Florida Man Radio Network.
You're listening to You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark.
I'll tell you what, they changed that law.
Yeah.
Don't give these companies the right to just jump in there.
Well, there should be no, Full Sail is one of the worst at it. There's no school that you could ever go to that's worth $120,000. Because you're never going to leave that job making $120,000.
Over 6 years.
Over 6 years, yeah. I mean, most of those guys, yeah, you're in entertainment, but you're starting out as a coffee grabber. You're not making music or not making millions in the time that you're running them.
Full Sail is expensive.
It was just like, I considered when I was kind of between going to college, Coast Guard, a couple different things, I looked at IT tech. Because you're like, okay, tech jobs look good. That would have been $130,000 when you go there.
And that was terrible.
$130,000 when you go to
Total
IT tech.
rip-off thing, too. Sorry.
It was $15,000 a semester, and you had to get 4 semesters out of it or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Do it now.
And you would have never gotten, I would have never gotten a job out of it. I mean, even where I went with CSB was still $8,000 for 6 months.
Where did is CSB still around?
Not here in Orlando. They
Does it
closed
still
that campus.
exist?
Tampa has one. The Tampa one's still pretty big.
Columbia School of
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah, Connecticut School of Broadcast.
Isn't it time to consolidate your
Yeah, I
401ks and get game?
Which it did exactly what I paid for. It paid $8,000 to get into in a job. It did what I needed it to do.
Yeah, got you. What you needed to
Take
go
control of
do.
your 401k today
Well,
and take
that's
control of your financial future.
You know, but something, you know, again,
Right now,
yeah, Kenny's sitting up there with $120,000 worth of debts doing promotion work.
Yeah.
That's not going to pay the bill.
That's never
going to pay the loan back.
So, I'm not going to bring the conversation back up, but Dollar Tree has at-home marijuana tests.
Really?
98% accuracy.
Really?
98%. It's $1.
Sure.
Or you can buy a case for 48, save. You can buy a case of 50, 48.
Helps you when you have when you're on parole and you gotta be doing their Smith
I have
test.
to go into Dollar Tree.
What is going on, Mick? No!
No, just
No,
check,
my friend.
just check out. I mean, if everything's really a buck. I mean,
It's
They
great
do.
for if you want to get
Sponges.
sponges or tin foil or
Right.
you know.
Now these are great because we actually get a lot of these every year when we're making our kits for the homeless. They have the hand warmers and they're 2 for $1.
I mean, the
And
only
those
time I
are-
really go in there
those are
is
pretty great.
during Christmas time here. I'll go
I
in
don't
there and
go
buy
in,
like
though.
8
I order them
rolls.
online.
stuff.
Oh no, I'll just go buy 8 rolls of wrapping paper. Now the wrapping paper's only like this much, but you're paying a buck for each of them.
Right. And that can get pricey.
You know, you go buy. I think last year I buy for like 20, 30 people, and we just bought bags and put all their stuff in bags. But it was like $20
Full
for
wrap, just back from the
bags and $20.
Yeah, these are great. Oh my goodness. It's like 8 hours a piece. And it comes with like 2 of them. My friend just put them in their pocket. And they're like nice and warm. They're
Oh,
really
I
good.
was stay warm.
It's, you like
It's a chemical
pop it or
reaction.
something, yeah.
It's a
And
chemical
like,
reaction. You break it
I don't
up
know how
to whatever
to
the
say
chemical is,
that.
and it heats.
but it does.
Your favorite pizza,
It
wings,
stays
sides,
nice and
desserts are
warm.
all waiting at pizzahut.com.
Air
So order now,
activated.
because
Yeah,
no
pretty
one
good.
outpizzas the hut.
We use
Online at pizzahut.com for a large
Hot
two-topping
heads.
pizza for
Hot
just
heads.
$7.99.
They had the feet ones too. You put them in the bottom of your shoe or in your
Really?
put them in your
Yeah, you still gotta be careful. They'll burn you really easily.
those
too.
will get you. We normally do the hand ones. Pass them
How
out with
else are you
like
gonna
gloves and hats and all that fun stuff.
There's actually another thing you can buy at Dollar Tree. A lot of times they got like mittens and stuff like that.
We get our mittens. We'll try to do. It depends because sometimes they get back ordered, but we have a good supplier on Amazon that they can get them about 60 cents per.
So get rid of the daily hassles of contacts and glasses.
36 days, 4 hours, 59 minutes, 24 seconds.
For what?
To what?
Christmas.
Oh, I was like, for what? Oh, that's right.
It's a Christmas countdown.
When does Z100 go all Christmas songs? Because I know one of those.
November 1st.
Already done?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, they
November
had a
1st.
countdown the other day that started. I think the billboard I saw was the day after Halloween. So yeah, November 1st they were already.
Yeah, on November 1st. Every year, November 1st. They don't care.
More than 2 months of that. Well, no, they stop after Christmas.
Yeah, they stop. I think it's January 1st.
They go all the way.
30 seconds.
I chose the highly skilled doctors at Premier Men's Medical.
This is cute.
Guaranteed results on your first visit, or there's no charge. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, their custom blended medications are
Yeah, Ledge is on board with Dr. Schwartz and the Premier Men's Medical Center.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard he's talking about that.
He's gonna get his custom made medication.
440-9102.
You know,
Take that boner meds.
Now, back to You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark.
Wrapping up a Friday. Look, Dollar Tree, don't be mad at me. I mean, I was really saying nice things about you. I respect the fact that you're selling everything for $1. We don't have to ask.
yeah.
But, I
But-
mean, some of the stuff there, I don't know.
What day is it?
What did I say?
You said Friday.
I did. So,
It's a
can
Friday.
we just start that over?
It's
Hey,
a
wrapping
Friday
up on
somewhere.
Monday. You're listening to Power Radio. Whatever.
What the hell?
I wish it was
Who's
Friday.
counting?
It's
You know, what the
serious.
hell?
Yeah, because if this is a Friday, it sure feels like a Monday to me.
That's
It
right.
does. It
Dollar
does.
Tree, I apologize. I
Don't.
love you, but don't buy drugs there.
Don't.
At the end of the day.
There's things that make sense to buy there.
Yeah.
There's things.
Drugs ain't it.
You can always watch the show if you miss anything tonight by going to You Have Power Radio on Facebook and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent job tonight, EC. We'll do this again
Yes,
tomorrow, buddy. The Beautiful Briana, when are you here this week?
I will be back Thursday and maybe Friday.
Beautiful.
So we have to do Tuesday and Wednesday without you?
On your own.
Check back in tomorrow morning from 6 to 10 for Bubba, the Love Sponge. 10 to 2, 10 to noon it is Scott Ledger, Dangerous Conversation with my man Lurch and Mick Dolan. And then is Ed Till, who I Saturday as well, from 12 until 2. And of course, Shannon Burke, the Shannon Burke, will be here from 2 o'clock until 6. And Mick Dolan, I don't know much, but I do know one little thing.
What's that?
I will see you right back here again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. on the Florida Man Radio Network.
You got it. I'm going over to Dollar Tree.
Buy some pills.